know who made it. You know who made it. You know who made it. You know who made it.
What is going on, Gamble Factory? It's your boy ZROB. We got Coach T Posey ready to talk some Sunday night football. Got a very interesting game here tonight, and we have a much needed coin regainer for tonight as well. So I don't know really what to expect. Tyler, how are you feeling about tonight?
Yeah, I don't really know how to expect what to expect for this game either. Big 15.5 point spread, so obviously that is a little troublesome in terms of what to go with. But in order for it to get to a blowout, I feel like it's a Josh Allen type show. So you got a little bit of a leadway with going with the studs for Buffalo. So yeah, I mean it's 15.5. We're here on Sunday night. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, dude, it's hard not to play, especially on a primetime game. The Giants games, I feel like they've been on primetime every single week, and I know I'm not the only one. Like, we're all tired of watching them play. We don't want to watch Tyrod Taylor go get sacked 15 times tonight. It's a 30 to 14 point spread. Like, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants really don't even cover that 14-point line. Uh, there's all signs are pointing to the Bills just absolutely demolishing the Giants. The only way I know how to play is just, I mean, it's probably gonna blow out, but like we just gotta play who we think's gonna cause the blowout, in my opinion. I know we've been talking about a bunch of props, so we got 84 in here. Everybody's expecting big things tonight. We need a huge coin regainer, Tyler. So, what are
Yeah,
the
I mean,
odds? Are we going with Tyrod Taylor tonight?
Yeah, I don't think so. It's kind of funny though. Before we get into the props itself, like the Jets are about to beat the Eagles. The Browns just beat the 49ers with PJ Walker.
PJ
So
Walker over
unbelievable,
Purdy?
apparently. And yeah, produce for yourself as coach. You're right on Ritter past temps. There's no question, man. That was a lock. That was a lock of the century. I was undefeated on stream last night. Don't mind me.
If only your counterparts were also undefeated on the stream. Gosh, dude.
But yeah, with that said, before we start the props, hit the like button, please. We only have 5 likes and 120 people in here. Knock that subscribe button out. Let's get us to 900 real quick.
Yes, sir.
And let's hit this weird slate and knock it out.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Terrence said he hopes the Eagles lose. It's looking like they are going to. The stars are aligning for this six pick to slap. It needs to align real quick because my day was absolutely atrocious. So, um, but needless to say, there's a full game to choose from. We got Tyrod Taylor, the absolute GOAT, on the Giants side. I don't like any Tyrod Taylor props. I just you can maybe talk me into his pass attempts, but I just don't really trust him to do anything else. I don't even know if it's something that we should lock in or slip. Tyler, do you have a favorite prop for tonight?
Favorite prop?
Favorite prop or a prop that you like a little bit more than everything else?
I guess potentially is James Cook. I guess you want to make me pick a favorite. I love his receiving yards here. He's been a beast throughout the year coming out of the backfield. Not as good, not as efficient on the ground every game.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of sub 4 yard per carry games type things, but he's getting a lot of work, whether that be receiving, whether that be just kind of receiving and rushing type. He's hit this 15 and a half yards in every game but one, hit 14 in the other and that lone game. The odds favor him over 15 and a half receiving yards. DraftKings got him at 130 over 15 and a half receiving yards. You don't typically see that number very often in a yards prop. So, yeah, I really like James Cook's receiving yards, and the odds back that up.
Yeah, I think it's probably a pretty good play. I was looking. Giants don't give up a ton of receiving work to running backs, but that also could be like game script dependent, But I mean, like, Josh Allen has targeted James Cook 18 times on the year. That's up there. Like, he doesn't target a ton of people really. Like, you got 18 for James Cook, who's going to play a decent amount of snaps. And then like you got Diggs, obviously he has 50. But then like Gabe Davis at 26, and then James Cook is right after that, right there with the tight ends. So I could see it just getting like one or two screen plays, maybe just one screen, he can get a big gain. We're not worried about the Giants defense stopping really much tonight, so you just got to kind of hit on what the Bills put up quick and early and often. So. And just kind of staying with the Bills, I really like Josh Allen tonight. It's hard not to. I mean, you got a matchup with the Giants, who's absolutely terrible on defense. Josh Allen and the Bills, they like to throw the ball a lot, especially early on. 21.5 fantasy score. I mean, this just seems too low. He's got a 2.5 touchdown prop, which I was considering. It's just hard for me not to see Josh Allen being involved in 3 touchdowns tonight, which I think fantasy score is probably a little bit safer because he could hit this with just like 2 touchdowns. But I mean, Giants, they're not going to stop Josh Allen. They're projected for 30 points, so that offense has to come from somewhere. It's gonna have to come. It's gonna start with Josh every single time. So even in a blowout.
I would say even if it is a blowout, it's coming from Josh Allen. It's just the bottom line. He's the offense in pretty much every sense of it. Then I'm going to go to Xavier McKinney, safety for the Giants, over 5.5 tackles. Another guy who has good odds to go over here. I believe it's like minus 130 minus 130, 133 on some books to go over that 5.5 tackles. Hit that in 3 games already. Hit it in kind of like a no surprise game in Miami where they get the ball out in the space a lot to those guys. San Francisco and Arizona being a little bit different just because they don't typically have that. But it's a high-scoring game. And I think the Bills are along that same line as, Miami, where they like to spread it out, throw it out wide a little bit, where McKinney's going to be able to duck in and just be a tackle. He's kind of a headhunter from that safety position. So he's going to come out trying to fire on Diggs and fire on pretty much anybody who comes along, especially like those long Gabe Davis passes. He just seems to be involved in a lot of those receiving games, especially tonight, where I do think Josh Allen, like you said earlier, is just going to light him up. So, Xavier McKinney, 5.5 tackles and assists.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I mean, Yeah, I think it's smart taking a Giants tackle prop if we think the Bills are going to be on the field a ton. Um, and I see somebody, they brought it up in chat. I got one more Bills prop, or Bills offensive prop, that I think we should talk about, and that's Stephon Diggs. That 6.5 receptions. I'm surprised it's not at 7. Um, if it was 7, I was going to fade it just because I don't want to play the push. But I mean, we're getting decent odds here, like minus 136 average across the board. So it's pretty good odds. If we think Josh Allen's going to rack up 21.5 fantasy score and they're going to score 30 points, I mean, that's going to start with Diggs. I could also be talked into his fantasy score, his receptions, fantasy score, touchdown prop. Like, all those should hit. But I think 6.5 receptions is probably the safest here by a hair. If he was at 7 receptions, I'd probably lean fantasy score, but I don't know. Steph
Yeah,
Diggs is the man.
yeah. Either way, like I think you can't almost go wrong with Diggs being anything in your props. Like just the value you get a little bit on the odds is great. Before we continue, it looks like we have 176 of you guys watching. If you please just go smack that like button. We're at 18 likes, so it's not a great ratio there. So we got to poop that up, and we're almost at 900 subscribers. Just need 2 more. So
That's
let's
huge.
hammer those out real quick, and we'll get these last couple props out of here.
2 more subs for 2 more props.
Let's do it. And then my last prop, which I think the Giants are going to be playing from behind quite a bit. I don't think Tyrod Taylor's any good. I don't think he has very many good receivers, but I do think he's got a good enough tight end to where he's going to be the safety valve, and that's throwing it to Darren Waller 3.5 times. Waller's had 3 catches in every single game or more, had 6 in one, 8 in the other, but he's had 11, 8, 7, 5, and 3 targets. Weirdly, the 3-target game was against the Seahawks. Bills are pretty decent against the tight end, but I think with Tyrod Taylor's inability to have much game reps over the last forever, the 3.5 targets or 3.5 catches playing from behind is a pretty good number to have for him, especially him being so involved already with Daniel Jones and just giving Tyrod Taylor in here. He just looks for that safety blanket. I believe he targeted tight ends his last time out, like targeted tight ends more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a great prop. I think we've taken Darren Waller every single time Giants have had a primetime game, and last time he didn't get any targets, he didn't get enough targets. I think is what we took him for. But I mean,
Yeah, he didn't
3.5
take it.
catches, man, that's just so low for a tight end like Darren Waller.
But
Somebody
the odds
has,
are pretty good too.
yeah, we gotta like the odds on it. Average minus 135, just basically across every book. Somebody's got to get some offense for the Giants tonight. I mean, and 4 catches is not asking a lot for somebody like Darren Waller, who's going to be on the field a ton. And my last favorite prop, and we can even do, I see everybody talking about unders. The Jets won. God, it's crazy. I see a lot of people talking about unders. I wouldn't mind even like making an unders slip for this game too, because I have a few props in mind. But Ed Oliver, I think he's a great prop to get a sack tonight. I mean, he's hit this his last 3 games. He's got a big mismatch with with a terrible Giants offensive line. I mean, we've seen Daniel Jones get sacked a ton this year. Decent odds. He's like minus 130, minus 136 on a couple books to record a sack. I don't see any way our man Ed Oliver doesn't record one tonight. I don't know how you feel about it. I think it's a pretty great one.
Yeah, I think the odds are pretty much like minus 130 something on a couple of the books that are listed. He's already kind of like getting after the quarterback quite a bit anyway, like 3 straight games, I believe.
Yep.
And especially with the Jets' propensity or the Giants' propensity to get sacked a ton. Yeah, I mean you're definitely gonna love this prop as well. I mean, dude's a tackle. I mean, just a sack monster. So,
dude, yeah, he should get at least one tonight. I'd be surprised if he could honestly rack up 2. So I think that's 6 props right there. We're gonna lock that in.
No. He's been sacked 28 times in 5 games. Just curious if you want to know the stats, like it's almost 6. Yeah. So the Giants have taken 30 sacks in 5 games. And if you were curious,
I don't believe anything has been done with their offensive line to make it better for this game either.
No,
I think
not that I've heard.
They still have some injuries. Like they have that rookie who's been awful that they drafted. So Bills have scored all 4 quarters versus the Giants. That's actually interesting.
Can you send me that link for the So,
I did.
oh, you said no. You said the YouTube thing.
My bad, my bad. Yeah, I got you. So this is what we're gonna go with, guys. We can answer some questions, or we can talk about maybe an underslip. Sorry, I'm sending that link to Tyler because he's lazy and doesn't want to do it himself.
Yeah, I mean, especially when somebody does it for you, you might like, why do it yourself, right? Chet knows.
Got some questions about Davis, man. Maybe, but Gabe Davis is just I never get him right. He's actually been pretty solid. I don't know what prop you guys are talking about exactly. Let me.
I think a lot of them we're talking about is 3 catches.
So, oh yeah, he's only at 3 receptions. That's pretty low. You gotta think he's good for that.
But yeah, he's not. I mean, he hit 6 last game, like 6 a couple of games ago, but 3 and 1. Like he's just essentially like he's a guy that's just like is a deep threat kind of guy, and then will just get lost in the fold sometimes, or just bust out and score 8 touchdowns in a playoff game, which makes sense. He's just super inconsistent. That's why we don't like playing him because he's hard to get him right.
And honestly, like him scoring a touchdown, like those touchdown props are kind of interesting. Like he has a combo touchdown with Damian Harris and Wan'Dale Robinson. Kind of weird, but then he has one with Saquon as well. So if you think Saquon gets a decent amount of run coming back from injury, that's the thing. A lot of you guys are asking about Barkley and talking about his rush yards. Don't take it just because it's been like greened out his last 5. I hate my price picks on my computer lately, dude. It's just like spazzing out. So I mean, it's gonna be different. He's coming back from injury, so it's hard to know. I would assume he's fine. He's a full go for the most part, if he is playing today. But being over 2 touchdown underdogs against a team, it's hard to rack up 50 rush yards unless he just busts one out. So that's my biggest concern. If the game can stay close just for a little bit, I think 50 rush yards is not hard for him to hit. Especially because running backs, as you can see here, have done fairly well against the Bills. I mean, they've given up 1, 2, 3 100-yard rushers, and not a lot of volume on a 70-yard against Brian Robinson. So they have been prone to give up some big carries.
Yeah, modded clutch. I don't think Zach's gonna play MLB today. It doesn't seem like it. He's been popping you off for that a couple times.
Yeah,
so I don't think he is.
Yeah, no MLB for me today. I looked at it. I didn't get a good feel on anything. So I'll be looking at tomorrow's game and hopefully get something out. So Saquon said he's not feeling 100% yet. So yeah, it's kind of hard to trust him. If anything, I'd take maybe an under. Here's the props. These are the top 3. We got James Cook receiving yards, Josh Allen fantasy score, Xavier McKinney tackles and assists, Steph Diggs receptions, Darren Waller receptions, and Ed Oliver sacks. Can't see the props. Yeah, hopefully you guys get them now. I like some Dawson Knox. I'm interested in that because there's no Kincaid tonight.
Yeah, I would think Knox gets a little bit of run here, or a little bit of additional run and a little bit more targets.
Yeah. If this was a close game, I would for sure be hammering that 31.5. I'm just like, we're trying to get guys that are probably for sure gonna be the ones doing the blowout. I can see Knox maybe getting left to the side just a little bit, but with no Kincaid, I mean, he's gonna be on the field the entire time. So
yeah, it definitely seems like, and it's weird. Like you go look at all the Giants stats, and they're not giving up a ton of anything in the passing game because they've just gotten throttled every single time. So you don't really, obviously, their defense isn't very good, but they're not giving up a ton of volume because they're getting blown out. So I think it's just kind of hard to gauge his role within the blowout risk tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hopefully, most of these guys get it done in the first half, and because once the second half comes, the Bills could be up 3 touchdowns and just try and milk the clock,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just hand it to James Cook and his boy.
Underslip too. We can look at some unders.
I haven't looked at any unders at all, so I don't even know
either. But dude, Tyrod Taylor, 13 fantasy score. Jeez, dude.
You just got to throw 2 touchdowns.
There ain't no way he's at one pass rush and receiving touchdown on Prize Picks.
You just got to throw 200 yards to get 8. And then another touchdown just to get to 12.
He's at 24 receiving rush yards, but
yeah, you'll get a little bit of that.
That 13 fantasy score looks like a solid under. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I'm not making an underslip unless we're over 50-something likes, guys. You got 178 of you and only 44 likes. What are we doing here?
Oh yeah, let's get that up.
Yeah, let's crank that up a little bit. 907 subs, so which is nice. We're almost to 1,000.
What if we put in that? I know it's at 5 punts, but if we're making an underslip, that 5 punts is pretty good correlation. If we're doing I wish it was at 4.5, then I'd be hammering over. But 5 is probably good for a push. If we're thinking the Giants aren't going to do much, dude, they're going to be punting the ball pretty often.
Ooh, that's a lot.
I'm trying.
That's a lot of punts. Lots of punts.
But I mean, let's look at Giants games. How often have they been punting so far this year? Oh, I'm stupid. I meant to say how much the Bills have been forcing punts. Because if people are punting the ball like crazy versus the Bills, and I can see the Giants having to punt the ball a lot tonight too. Jacksonville punted 5 times in a game that Jacksonville won. That was the last week in London. Let's see, the Dolphins. They punted only 3 times in a game that they were getting blown out in. Commanders only put up 3 points. Only punted 3 times. So, that's the worry is, the Bills just kind of blow out the Giants, and the Giants have to go for it a ton.
Yeah, man. This man Taryn said, "People, Luka jersey, NBA season's gonna be a movie."
Yes, it is, dude. I said it in our group chat today. I was like, I'm so ready for NBA season.
Yeah, I mean, it's just can't get here fast enough. When we get to do this every single day, we get to take props. There's so many more props. It seems like for NBA that we just like playing a little bit more. I love NFL, but betting it is sometimes insane because of you're not even considering the player. You're just considering game scripts, and if you screw up your game scripts, you're not even. I mean, you're just screwed. So it's not like that in NBA. Players are gonna get their minutes. They're gonna get their fantasy score per minute. They're getting their stats. It's NBA is the best time of year. Can't lie.
No, it is for sure. And then you can play the odds a little bit better on NBA too to make it even easier. Sometimes odds are tough on football. They don't make sense sometimes, and then I don't know. I just don't think they're as useful for football, at least in my opinion. Dude, Diggs is trending upwards on the receptions. He's at 55.4% on the optimizer now, so that is going to bump before lineups lock.
We got some value there, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know that I feel really comfortable sending out an all underslip personally, so I just can't find the things that I really like.
I cannot believe a kicker is at 4.5 kicking points. Dude, that's crazy.
That is so low. I mean, that's a hammer on pretty much every kicker but him.
Yeah. Would you take? I would not take less on punts personally. I just not on the Giants side, man. And then the Bills punter is at 3. So,
yeah, I think it's just avoid.
Can we talk about how trash Prize Picks for boot policy is? I don't know. At least they haul for one, man, because I know it's frustrating sometimes, but they really no other book really offers it except sometimes the people push out reboots just because Prize Picks does, and they're trying to keep up. So Tyler Rod Taylor first half fantasy is 6. Yeah, I think that's under also. Especially, I mean, I wish it was 6.5 maybe. I'd probably go under just that way. He probably is less likely to pass because they're gonna try and run the ball in the first half if they can. Dude, I swear, if the Giants get close to beating the Bills today is just weird. Does Diggs score tonight? He should. They're projected for 30 points, man. It'd be weird if he isn't one of the touchdown props. I mean, he's minus 130 on DraftKings, so like not amazing odds, especially for a touchdown prop, but like it's still solid. Slayton props, yeah, dude.
Just straight avoid.
Yeah, you can't. Like 25.5, he's gonna if he breaks like not breaks a tackle, but like if he catches a decently deep pass and or just a little busted coverage on a play, he's gonna go over this. He's not gonna catch a lot of passes though. I actually played on Betr a personal slip, and I think I took Slayton under, just kind of
Yeah, I
stacking
mean,
it.
Taylor rushing is a little bit interesting just because they are going to get to him quite a bit, and he's going to have to run for his life a little bit. So, I mean, it's not the worst prop in the world.
Jay did bring up something. It's on top of the optimizer. He said he likes the Davis and Barkley touchdown prop. I kind of like that too. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Gabe Davis catches a touchdown, and then like obviously Saquon can score too if they get anywhere close.
Yeah, it's a problem trying to get close for the Giants. Might be a tall task tonight, but I mean they'll have to do something.
It's a pretty good prop. 50 almost 59% on the optimizer. That's a pretty solid one. Tomorrow's game's gonna be really good, dude. The Cowboys and the Chargers. Like, we should see over 50 points in that one. So we should get a lot of like, what's the game total? 51. It was at 46.5 and it's went up to 51. So
yeah, it's a really good game environment. I'm pumped for that one.
Yeah, that'll be a fun game tomorrow. Giants defensive special team under, yeah, but then you can't pair any Bills offensive players with that.
Yeah, so that's the only part of that. You almost have to just play a different sport with them at this because for prime time.
10.95 fantasy points on Underdog. Should I take the over? I don't know what player you're talking about. Giants coach used to be offensive coordinator for the Bills, and Tyrod Taylor played with them. That is true. But he didn't do much playing.
Yeah, definitely Terran. Finally a good one in that game. That's absolutely true.
Oh, Taylor, 10.9 fantasy points Underdog. That is so low. Yeah, you probably should take the over because, I mean, he's 13 on Prizepicks. Well, I'm going to look what he's at on Sleeper real quick. That may be good value on Underdog. Yeah, not that I love to play, but that's pretty low.
That just seems way too low for a starting quarterback.
He's 13.7 on Sleeper. So, like, that 10 fantasy points on Underdog is probably a solid over. I don't love it, but it's actually really good value. 3 difference, so.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's 75 passing yards, almost a full touchdown. Like, that's really good.
11.5 on Betr. Yeah, I think Betr, they weight an interception by an extra point, so it should be like 0.5 lower, I believe. I did the calculation. It's either 0.5 or 1 lower than Prizepicks. I'd rather take the over on Underdog because I think it's the same exact quarterback scoring.
All right. Any last minute questions? We're about to probably hop off here for the night. Get to enjoy the game a little bit, and we'll pop. I think we'll pop back on tomorrow for the Monday night stream for sure. But yeah, any last minute questions? We'll answer a couple of those before we get out of here.
We got Brandon asking us about Underdog. I didn't look at Underdog, but I'm looking at the optimizer right now. It's like in Darren Waller under fantasy score at 9. It's a half point PPR, so that's actually probably a good one. That Tyrod Taylor over 10.95 fantasy score. That's solid, but it's negative correlation with Darren Waller. I mean, you got Steph Diggs over there at 6.5 receptions. That's fine to take. But just first glance off the optimizer, I'm not seeing a whole lot of value.
Yeah, it seems like Brandon, I would probably just wait a little bit tomorrow, especially for the better game, since Underdog just doesn't have a lot of props that we really like. So I would definitely save my money. Maybe look at a second half slip over there, or maybe just pop on tomorrow because I think it'll be a better game. So should be able to find something a little bit better.
Yep. I'm not taking Bass over kicking points. He's actually favored slightly under on the books, so just an avoid for me. I mean, I don't know if he has a field goal prop. If you're liking over 7.5 Kicking points, you might as well take the field goal, in my opinion, unless you think that he gets a field goal and 5 extra points.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Somebody said, no, Devin said Diggs got bumped to 7.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
we knew that was coming. It was great value. Love it.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate you guys hopping on for that last minute Sunday night football stream. Man, I like this slip. Primetime games haven't always been the greatest. Things get weird. I would be surprised if this one gets weird. I'm just saying, like, Giants are atrocious. Bills are one of the best teams in football. I mean, they lost last week to the Jags, but they had to fly to London, and the Jags were there for a week. So I'm not worried about the Bills tonight. Should be a cakewalk. Let's let Josh Allen rack up the points. That went to our boy Steph Diggs and James Cook. And then Big Ed, he's going to get a sack. Darren Waller's going to get a couple catches. What's our other one? Oh, Xavier McKinney. He should be getting a lot of tackles. A lot of opportunity for tackles with the Bills being on the field. So, any last words, Tyler?
Nah, man, ain't nothing good to say. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. And do us a favor before you leave. Like and subscribe. Helps us out a lot. See you guys.